As I waited for the bus that first day of school, the kid who I played video games with greeted me with a,
"Hey, Mr. Senior."
I was 16 and as I walked into school that first day, I had to choose my schedule for the fall semester. I first chose my last required class, Government and Economics. I remember they wouldn't let me choose two physical education classes like I wanted to do. I was going to do both team sports and weightlifting. Remember, I should have done weightlifting for the professional wrestling path I wanted to set myself on after graduating, this last year of high school. But for practical reasons, I chose team sports. I bought myself a basketball and carried it to school with me, so that I could shoot around before and during class. I took a science ecology class. That left a 1-class gap. I could have done any other elective, even though I had my tech seal already. I don't know why I thought things would be different from my freshman year first semester experience, but I chose a second semester of construction. That was my final transcript: government/economics, team sports, ecology, and construction. Ecology was a class I passed as I had biology years before that. I remember with biology, I got 100 on the final and 92 overall. With government and economics, the senior population was divided into half a semester each. Then we would switch off. I had government first, which I enjoyed learning the Constitution, the amendments and a host of other things that make America great. Then I went into economics and I can tell you, it was my worst subject in all of high school. We learned the stock market, ratios, spreadsheets. I struggled, but I was so determined to pass this class that the teacher actually gave me this nice written accommodation for the effort I was putting into the class. We got a visit from two guys who worked at Motley Fool and they brought some interesting insights. With great difficulty, I passed the class and my hat is off to the college economics majors out there among you. I went back to construction. The teacher was still there, willing to teach to many who just didn't want to learn. This semester I decided I would choose electrician when he had us raise our hands, who wanted to be a carpenter and who wanted to be an electrician. I got to learn basic circuitry, not only on paper, but in the shop. But like in freshman year, there was this one kid who would start trouble. I'd be in class plotting my circuits on paper before I went into the shop to build them and he'd throw something at me or come over and get physical. We'd always end up on the floor as the majority of fights do, where it would be a stalemate every single time. I'd see him twice outside of school, more on that later. I was the standout electrician in that class, because I was the only one who applied himself. The others would get in their group and talk. They didn't realize what an opportunity this was. People pay over $20,000 to go to trade school to learn what we had the ability to take advantage of for free. So I would take it upon myself to show the guys what I was doing and eventually, we built circuits in the practice area, then the wooden structure that the carpenters were building. I took the final and passed the class. While I was taking these classes, I was also completing yet another semester of team sports and it really ended up opening my eyes. From here, my story picks up on my Jesse Flood topic page in My Life in the United States Navy Volume 1. In my own voice, I tell you how high school ends for me. Not being an internet user and weighing less than 150 pounds, I know of no way to become a professional wrestler and so I approach a Navy recruiter to sign up for the most arduous military training to finally get big, strong and able to defend myself. I dedicate myself fully to my training and again become the victim of black on white racism and our white coach sells out and doesn't do a damn thing. Because of this and his lack of care for his own health, he has no business being an educator, physical or otherwise. We finally solved the mystery of just who threw my clothes in the trash back in middle school. And I wrongly think that when school ends, the type of behavior you encounter in school ends with it. Even in the military, which I find out firsthand. The fair treatment of all that claimed to be our creed, was not extended to me. In 63 parts, starting with my life in the United States Navy Volume 1 and concluding with my life in the United States Navy Volume 2, the next 4 years of my story takes place, starting with, in the beginning, and concluding with, their debt to pay. The next video back on this channel will pick up after all of this happens, so make sure you head over to the topic channel and hear me tell you all about it and I'll see you back here to pick up the next chapter of the story after you finish.